Hey there, everybody, this is Caitlin here, and welcome to Friday's edition of spoilers for Force of Will Advent of Demon King. Today, like last week, we are covering both the Wind and the Darkness spoilers that came out this week. We got a little something different here. We got a little glimpse into some more, maybe, theories that are happening. It did explain a couple of things that got revealed and whatnot, but starting off with Wind, we have Ciel, sorceress priestess. I was going to say apprentice there, but no, she's a priestess. And actually, in particular, this artwork was featured on the side of the box for Advent of the Demon King, and I kind of assumed or theorized it was potentially a younger Feasting because she had the cat on her shoulder. I thought maybe it was like a kitten Tama, but it turns out that it's not. It's a completely different character, so I was proven wrong there. So sad to say that I was wrong in that regard. But she is a 3-cost Resonator. She's 2 Wind and 1 Void. She's also quick cast with 500 attack and 600 defense. When she enters the field, you can produce 2 wills in any combination of attributes, which I find really interesting because obviously elves normally are just ran in like kind of tribal elf decks and whatnot. I know that sometimes Melfi got ran in Lumia Hook. I know in some builds people run Sacred Elf to produce like Windwell and everything like that. So it's really interesting that this seems like it has a viable use outside of just like elf Resonator decks and whatnot. Especially because at the bottom here it says whenever you play a Wind chant, this card gains 200/200 until end of turn, which kind of seems to push for going for mono Wind because I know like some people are saying, oh, well, sometimes playing mono colours isn't the best, but mono Wind can get you pretty far if you've got the right combination of cards and whatnot. And obviously depending on your ruler as well. So I find that this is quite an interesting card. I like it. The artwork is also really neat. And it's kind of funny. The main reason why I mistook maybe this for Feasting and Tama is because from the artwork, it just looks like the cat is maybe white. And the green parts of it are more to do with shading. But it turns out the cat is actually green and white. And it also has a blue eye and a green eye, which I find interesting. So I guess a lot of elves take cats as familiars. Or also that they just like whitish animals and whatnot. So at the bottom here it says, you have need of me. So maybe this is possibly the royal family, maybe going to Ciel for some help after the portal is broken or the dark elves have invaded and the demons have arrived and everything like that. So we're going to be allying our forces here. Next up, we have Ciel's Familiar, Mike or Mike, or I'm not quite sure how you're meant to pronounce this. I'm going to call it Mike because I think that is like the most appropriate way to pronounce it. He is a 2-cost Resonator. He's 1 Wind and 1 Void, a 200/200, so still the same stats as Tama, Familiar of Wind and whatnot, but slightly more expensive. When this card enters the field, you can look at the top 3 cards of your deck, put a card from among them into your hand, and the rest on the bottom of your deck in any order. So instead of just like drawing you card, you get the option of the top 3, so you can like kind of search through your deck a little bit and kind of like thin it out a small wee tad. And at the bottom here it says banish this card, and this card deals 400 damage to target Resonator. So again, you get like a similar banish effect, which is kind of weird because it's like, hey, here's an elf with a cat who does slightly similar things to the previous cat. So this is really interesting here, and obviously this artwork is just adorable. I mean, look at this freaking cat. It is so cute. It's got one little blue eye and one little green eye. It's got a little bell and its collar, and it's wearing little bracelets. It's just absolutely adorable. And Ciel is just like, come, Mike. So I'm not too sure what this kitten familiar is going to be getting up to, but it seems like he's going to be helping out his owner here, which is really sweet. And then next up we have Phase Shift, a quick cast spirit magic chant which costs 2 Wind. Change the target of target chant targeting a J/Resonator you control. The new target must be legal. That's a lot of targets in one card, so breaking that down essentially, it's like the best way to describe it is that, say, your opponent is picking something and it says targeting, like, this, a Resonator for their chant. You can then play this card and you can change the target, but the target must be legal. So I'm assuming here that by saying that it needs to be legal, that it needs to be something that can be targeted. So you can't pick something with barrier. And it needs to be, or at least barrier from chance, and it needs to be maybe something that you still control. I still think that when stuff changes target and it says it needs to be a legal target, I still think it still means that I say still so many times, honestly. I think it means that you can choose a opponent's Resonator. I may be wrong about that, and that might be what they mean by it needs to be legal, so it would still need to be a Resonator that you control. I could be wrong there. I feel like the way it's worded, it's implying that you could choose your opponent's Resonator. I may be wrong there. Maybe I'm just like misinterpreting that, but That's the kind of vibe that I'm getting from it. Also, I at first mistook this for Gil floating around here, but it looks like it's meant to be Ciel, which is kind of interesting. In an instant, it can turn a bad situation into a favourable one. So I'm not quite sure what they're meaning there. I mean, the imagery here on the actual artwork here is a little bit weird. It's like Ciel shifting from like a building into like the elven village. I'm not too sure. The background doesn't really give too much away here. And then finally for the wind spoilers, we have Ultra Awakening, which makes me think of Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon here. But it is a hefty 6-cost quick cast chant. It is 1 wind, 5 void. It is spirit magic / elemental. So if I'm remembering correctly, it's been a while since I've looked at how Gil works, but I believe Gil is that you can discard as a elemental something or whatever to like you can discard an elemental card to play a spirit magic card, or the other way around or something like that. But this would probably be very, very good for a Gil deck. Obviously it has quick cast. Target J / Resonator gains 2000 until end of turn. So that is a hella scary here. An awakening of true anger. So I wonder what Gil here is angry about. What has enraged him so that he's practically lost one of his eyes to his magic or something like that, and he's just literally buzzing with ancient potential, possibly ancient mana magic potential. We have no idea. Very, very interesting. I'd like to see where this goes with the angry Gil here. But I think this is a really interesting card. Probably best to be played with Gil, obviously, so you can cast it for cheaper. But I guess if you were running like mono wind ramp, then you could potentially get up to this. And then next up we are looking at our Darkness Resonators, and it's time to get a little bit spooky here. We have some more Wicked Spirits in the form of Spawn of Beelzebub, a 1-cost Darkness Wicked Spirit Resonator, 300/300. When this card is put into a graveyard from the field, put 2 -1/100 counters on target Resonator. So I feel like this is meant to go hand in hand with Beelzebub himself, who seems to only be able to do stuff when he gets counters put on him, but then he can move them about and all that stuff. So, very, very interesting. Just touching Beelzebub is enough to rot you away. And this artwork is like really, really creepy and kind of sinister. It kind of gives me the heebie-jeebies here. It's all like kind of slimy and like with the flies everywhere, and I don't like it too much. Next up we have the Willssir copy, which is a 4-cost Resonator. It is 2 Darkness and 2 Void. It's a 900/800 Wicked Spirit, and it kind of looks like a little mini Willssir, which is kind of bizarre. It's like all the Wicked Spirits we've seen so far are kind of almost like inhuman or slightly grotesque or slightly monstrous. This literally just looks like a mini little baby version, or not baby version, but a little child version of Willssir, which is very, very interesting. This card gains 200/200 for each other Wicked Spirit you control, so I was kind of assuming we'd get a card like this. Most usual Resonator like archetypes get some kind of card that gets boosted depending on how many other of that kind you have on the field. So I guess it makes sense that this is the one that has that ability. Able to act as Willssir's eyes and ears, they bring him secret knowledge from across the world. So it seems like he can just send out these copies of like himself, but like in these little Wicked Spirit forms, and they can literally see and hear stuff for them, like his like perfect little spies, which is like really interesting. Next up we have a perfect card for Rhea, Dance in the Moonlight, which is a 4-cost chant. It is 2 Darkness and 2 Void. It's a mystery chant, which is really nice. This card deals 800 damage to each Resonator, which is scary enough in itself, and for awakening it, you can remove 2 mystery counters from your J/Ruler, destroy all Resonators instead, which is really, really scary, considering that obviously it's to each Resonator, which includes your own. So probably the best time to play this is when you literally have nothing on the field. Maybe if you only have Rhea in flipped onto the field and whatnot, because obviously it only targets Resonators, doesn't target J/Rulers, so your Rhea would be safe. Other than that, it's really interesting. The artwork is really neat. I like the kind of smoothness of, it's almost like a watercolor a little bit. It's like really, really nice. And at the bottom here, it says, like a streak of light, Rhea moved, striking down the evil creatures before her. Interesting that it points out evil creatures. So does this mean that Rhea is now siding with the good guys? Is she now fighting against Willssir and all that? Is she against the demons? Because obviously she's a vampire herself, and maybe she's helping them out, but we're not too sure yet. Next up we have Spider's Web, and again, I love this artwork. The artwork is just absolutely gorgeous. It is a quick cast Darkness chant, just for 1 Darkness. It's also a mystery chant as well. You can choose one, and you can choose 2 instead if this card was awakened. You can either put a target Resonator from your graveyard into your hand, or Target J/Resonator gains -600 attack and -300 defense until end of turn, or target J/Resonator must attack you this turn if able, and the awakening cost is just to remove a mystery counter from your J ruler. This is a really interesting card. I'm not too sure how well it would be to awaken this how many times. It feels like out of all the cards that you can potentially awaken, this one might not be as good. Maybe just even using the one cost to put a Resonator from your graveyard into your hand would be better, but I can see why you would maybe want to awaken it. At the bottom here it says, those caught in the web live or die at Rhea's command. So now she's got power over spider webs. I didn't know that was a power that vampires had, but I'm not going to argue with her. Rhea is a scary, scary girl. She seems super powerful and whatnot, and I'm really excited to finally see a little bit more into her story and what she's all about. But anyway, guys, that has been the spoilers for today. I kind of like rattled through them a lot quicker, but obviously we only had 2 sets of spoilers to go through, just 8 cards in total. So I hope you enjoyed me discussing these cards. Let me know down below what you're feeling. Are you thinking of like modifying any of your starter decks? Are you thinking of either picking up the Rabbit Girl, the Were Rabbit? Are you picking up the Demon King? And are we going to get a third ruler for the set? A lot of people have been speculating that we're not going to get one, because now we've had one attribute for like literally all the J rulers already. But a lot of people have been speculating that we might get either a Void ruler, a Moon ruler, even though it's not technically like an attribute and whatnot, or we could be getting a kind of dual color ruler potentially. We have no idea yet. We'll just need to wait and see. I'm not too sure. I feel like we'll maybe get a dual color ruler if we're getting a third one for the set, which I think would make a lot of sense, but I'm not quite sure what kind of color combination they would go with. But I digress anyway. I hope you enjoyed this video, guys. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you're thinking of these spoilers and if you're enjoying them and whatnot so far. And I will see all you guys later.